Hello, welcome to The Exhausted Programmer. My name is Alexander, and today we'll continue our series on the amazing internet. Today's topic will be two things, 7-zip and VLC. While exploring the internet, the biggest headache I came across in the past was getting a file and not being able to open it. The website I got it from might say it's a video file or some other kind of file, but without the right program, it does me no good. And finding the right program is then trying to search Google based on file extensions and hoping that you're not getting malware. Instead, I find that most files can be opened by these two programs because a lot of things that are being shared online currently is videos and collection of files for programs like little projects or something you can download off of GitHub. How to open those, again, can be a bit of a headache, but with these two tools, you'll find that it's really easy. Let's start with 7-zip. When you go out into the internet, you might come across different pieces of software you want to use or asset libraries that you want to download. And the person who's providing them might provide it in a number of different file extensions, file types. Here we see four extremely common ones: the zip extension, tar.xz, which is an xz file, tar.gz, which is a gz file, and then the .rar, which is a rar file. Right now, my operating system only knows that it can open up one, so when I double click it, it opens it up. This is something that the Windows operating system provides. I'm imagining every operating system provides this at this point, but if it doesn't, 7-zip's got you covered. You might think this RAR file has an obvious choice, but I don't have it installed. And the other two, unless you're really into Linux stuff, you might not get these either. And that's okay. I use .tar.gz all the time in my own files. In fact, I brought up my backup directory on another computer to show that's what I use to back up my home directories. So if I was to distribute a file to contain a bunch of other files, I might use the .tar.gz extension. But for other people who are used to sticking to only Windows programs, that would be kind of uncomfortable to figure out what to do in order to get it open without 7-zip. The purpose of this video isn't to compare compression algorithms. We can do a video in the future where we look at how long it takes to create the files, to extract from the files, and how much space does it take up. Depending on use cases, different things might mean different things. If your main bottleneck in the day-to-day business is bandwidth, you're going to want the smallest files you can get no matter how long it takes to create them. Instead, if you're backing up a lot of information and just putting it to a backup, you might be more concerned with how long it takes to create the backups because that might prevent other things from being able to run. Which is to say, I'm not going to say which one's the best case for all use cases. It's up to the individual purpose of the archival process and where the files are going. For this video though, I want to show you that 7-zip just doesn't care. For each one of these, we can click on it, right click on it to open up the menu, get the 7-zip, and we can open the archive and see what's inside. In this case, we see the folder and the files, and that's what we'll see for all four of these. Again, use cases can change. I just made these really fast, but sometimes you can make an archive where it doesn't actually archive the folder itself, just the files inside of it, or you can archive the folder and the files inside of it. This is just your process on how you do it, and is really not, again, important to this video. But if we click on one of these with the double extensions, again, 7-zip, open archive, same exact thing. And we know these files aren't the same thing, just with different extensions, because the operating system can tell you that they're different, and the size difference tells you that there must be something significantly different between these two files. More so, 7-zip has its own archival extension and process, which if you have a directory that you want to archive, you can just right click on it. Again, go down to the 7-zip. You can add it to an existing archive, or you can create your own. If I click on this, and now we see that we have the fake archive. Again, if we open it up with 7-zip, open archive, we can see it here, same thing. And if you're being extra careful, you'll notice that there was also a second archival file extension here, and we can do this, where we get the fake archive.zip, and we see that it is the same file type as the compressed. Down here, test.zip, same size. And again, Windows can just open up without needing 7-zip, or we can use 7-zip to look into it. To get 7-Zip installed on your computer, I'm not going to go through all the steps here, but it's pretty simple. You just need to go to the website, 7-zip.org. You can use any search engine of your choice. Just look up 7-Zip. You do not need a hyphen for a search engine. And you get the download link right here. Click it. It downloads. You install it. Simple as that. There are other options here. If you need a 32-bit Windows or any of these other options, if you don't know what they are, then you probably don't need it. But if we go back to that home page, we see that 7-Zip really does demonstrate some of the best aspects of open source, which is it covers a wide range of types. It also works in a lot of different Windows operating systems all the way back to 2000, which is amazing. And as we saw, it also works on Linux and Mac. There are options for command line interface if that's your thing, which means you can script it for whatever purposes you have. The fact that I use tar in some of my scripts means I could easily replace it with 7-Zip and have the exact same functionality. The other program I want to bring up in this video is VLC. Much like 7-Zip takes out the guesswork of figuring out which decompressing tool you need for each type of archival file, VLC works the same way with video. I think it's less of an issue these days, but it seems like there was a time where people were coming out with a different way of encoding video every day, promising to get more colors out of less memory so that you can make it easier to share videos with other people. And this just meant trying to download the right libraries, the right codecs, the right programs to play each one, hoping that you'll just get lucky with the video software you already had installed on your machine. But with VLC, usually that's all you need. Again, we see the greatness of open source software, which is that it supports multiple different operating systems, including phone operating systems. I did not look up to see if 7-Zip supports phone operating systems. I'm sorry. I assume it does though, or at least Android, because Linux. You can download it and you can run it. It's got a pretty simple interface, which we can see right here. Playlist, all these different options over to the left. And really, I'm sort of selling VLC short here because it also works with audio files. When I have this thing installed, then any audio or video file I have just works. And that's what makes it amazing for me. To continue the thread about the greatness of open source software, we can see that VLC Player can do more than just play all sorts of video files and audio files, but it has a lot of interesting features you can do, including adding subtitles, adjusting playback speed, set as wallpaper. I'm assuming it takes whatever frame you're looking at and makes it your wallpaper, if that's what you want. Zooming, cropping, deinterlacing, way too much to go into here. The point of this is just to show how amazing this tool can be, where it can open up any video or audio file that I've ever come across. I decided to group these two programs together in the same video because they handle the same type of problem the same way. By using open source software practices, they make it where the end user no longer has to be concerned with such specifics about each file type, and instead can just play video files as expected and open archived and compressed files as expected. This makes the end user experience a lot better than what it once was, where it seemed like every extension needed its own program to open. I remember back in the day where a .move needed iTunes, a .wave needed Windows Media Player, but now VLC can handle both of those and a lot more. Both programs actually cast such a wide net that they overlap in some places. Most notably for me is the .iso file. VLC can play ISO files natively, and 7-Zip can open up the files as if the disk was in a disk drive itself. As we go forward, we might find more tools, and I can't guarantee that the installation process will be a simple .exe or a zip file or any other kind of archival file, but I can guarantee with these two tools, it will make it a lot easier for us to explore other great things on this amazing internet. If you have any tools or sites that you want to suggest for this series, if you have any questions concerning this series or any of the other series on this channel, please feel free to drop a comment below, like and subscribe to this video if you find it helpful, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.